welcome to yet another edition of The Deep Dive. The Deep Dive is a good governance program where they come to you every Wednesday at exactly 8 p.m. And always, I am your host, James Fortune. Tonight on The Deep Dive, we want to take a very long ride into the Constitution of Sierra Leone. The Constitution na any country, na the supreme law, na the Agbagba, na the biggest law amongst all other laws them within any country. And that's the case for Sierra Leone. The 1991 Constitution of the Republic of Sierra Leone, now the most important law, because all other law within the country, whether an act, whether a policy, it derive in powers of authority from the 1991 Constitution. Now, for a very long time, plenty people don't they clamor, don't they call for a revision of the 1991 Constitution. And rightly so, because it was enacted in 1991. That's a long time ago. The situations as they were then and now are quite different. The aspirations of the people in 1991 go on for beliefs they don't change small in 2026. And as a result of same, that's why Sierra Leoneans them all around the world don't they call for a review of the 1991 Constitution. Because we don't get several instances in which instead of the Constitution serving as the document where they bring clarity to the questions them where they it can often be the source of confusion. Reason being because it is either that the 1991 Constitution not too clear about a given question, or now the fact say waiting day inside day can be interpreted differently based on the thoughts and views and opinions of the individual where they look at them. As a result of all of them things then now I make the people of Sierra Leone be glady at around 2017 or even earlier before that, when the then government, the All People's Congress, decides, say, okay, they are taking up the review of the 1991 Constitution. Plenty people be called this a very good good move. Of course, the opposition then, the Sierra Leone People's Party, be also call them a good move, even though them be get their reservations them, as is always. Now, fast forward to 2026, a process we start long ago, we start, let's just say for argument, around 2016, 2017. 2026, there is now a new document titled the Amendment to the 1991 Constitution. However, this document here get boku explanations them where they inside. You get people them where they allege say the things them we finally make them into this amendment bill nor directly represents the views and opinions them where them be expressed during the consultations and meeting with the Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice be do, for gather and get people then thoughts and opinions on waiting and how they go elect for the new constitution look. Now, all of these arguments, all of these boku definition, description, now waiting we want for look at on the deep dive tonight. So tonight, we're going to look at the facts about the Constitutional Amendment Bill. We're also going to look at some of the fictions them where people don't they throw around. Fiction, not even a lie. We not necessarily waiting the inside it. But most importantly, we are also going to look at those things we don't they cause controversy, especially, in the political arena. And of course, therefore open the mic, for turn the mic over to you, listeners and viewers, forget waiting you think. Do you think the documents, the Constitutional Amendment Bill as it is a good one? What would you change in there? Waiting you go adjust small. How you go want foresee the new Constitution of Sierra Leone. So tonight on the deep dive, like always, it is me, you, and of course, the mic. So listeners, welcome to the deep dive. Remember, so you can also follow me live on Facebook via our Facebook page at Epic Radio. We're going to go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll right straight in with a deep dive of the 1991 Constitutional Amendment Bill that is right now in front of Parliament.
African children, I'm saluting you. We all should try to live together, not to kill and eat one another. We are from one father and mother, so that means we are brothers and sisters. In your home, give peace a chance. On your ways, give peace a chance. Whatever you do, allow peace to reign. Wherever you are, allow peace to reign. Whatever you say, allow peace to reign. Whoever you are, allow peace to reign. African leaders, how do you do? African chiefs, I'm saluting you. Losing the chains that are biting your hands. This is the time for us to farm the land. Settle the grudges that are causing destructions. For this is the time to make a solid construction. In your home, give peace a chance. On your ways, give peace a chance. Whatever you do, allow peace to reign. Wherever you are, allow peace to reign. Whatever you say, allow peace to reign. Whoever you are, allow peace to reign.
Okay, welcome back. If you just joined with the program where you listen to another deep dive, where they come to you live here on Epic Radio 99.3 FM with me, James Fortune. And tonight on the deep dive, we're looking at the 1991 Constitutional Amendment Bill, we're currently there in front of Parliament. Like I said during my intro, this now process we know to yesterday is start. We started since as far back as 2017. And by 2018, there was already a white paper that was developed. The person will be head that process there, the late Justice Cowan. And plenty of the people will be observed and follow the process then, been described the final document where then be come out with the white paper as something very good and something that is good for this country in development and progress. However, after the white paper was finally presented to the government, then they not be go forward with them again. Plenty people be alleged say the reason why the government then, the APC government, not be proceed with them, now because the white paper, the finalized document, was something be drastically reduced the powers around the presidency and the executive in itself. As a result, government was uncomfortable to move forward with it. Fast forward to the campaign period during the 2018 elections. This is not something we be there at the very center of campaign promises which were made and several talks. All political parties, including the one now that is in government, the Sierra Leone People's Party, begin a solemn promise and commitment towards moving forward with the constitutional amendment process as a matter of urgency. And then several other promises were as well made. However, now 2026 we day now. The process since the SLP come na power, don't be slow. It was not as fast and take the speed as them be promised and as was expected. However, Usai we dey now. This is 2026, and finally, there is an amendment bill where in itself now a good thing, because now there is something in public domain, there is something in front of parliament. We could argue every other day about the content and otherwise, but the bottom line still remains there is now something actual within in front of parliament. We now good thing, yeah. Moving on from Dandy, coming to the content of and how much it reflects the views, hopes, and aspirations of general Sierra Leoneans. I think Dandy now, it's something that we could argue about. It is neither here nor there. But we're going to look at tonight some of the key things them within inside this constitutional amendment bill. And we are going to look at them just as they are, not necessarily infusing words into them or making them look like within their notes, but just looking at it verbatim. Yeah, the very first aspect where maybe it's important to put out there, and the fact that this is just a bill, and that's a point where government don't continue for make. However, there is this misconception where some people get where they feel, say, oh no, this is the final document, it would be passed as it is, so their opinion don't really matter. And you get certain sets of people where as well they push that narrative. They are one of the fictions them. No to true. This is not a final document. It is a bill. Still gets a long way for go. Plenty people get for talk, get for agree with in content. Other people get for suggest, say, let we change and so, make and so. And then the process now we don't start. So they had the pre-legislative session, I think it was day before yesterday or yesterday, and it went well really, because it was an open conversation and plenty people were allowed to make their opinions known. And the Office of Attorney General and Minister of Justice don't continue to emphasize that this is just a working document. And of course, it is okay that people not necessarily agree with every clause word for word where they inside the amendment bill. But let's look at some of the things them where they inside it. One of the things them where they inside the constitutional amendment bill, we don't they cause controversy and boku explanation. Now the thing we get for do with the original 1991 constitution stipulates that the president get the powers in consultation with political parties for appoint members of the electoral commission. Basically, the electoral commissioners them. The president get the power for appoint them in consultation with political parties. However, over time, and this is not an APC or SLPP thing because it don't be across the board. When the APC was in power, when they appointed an electoral commissioner, the SLPP say they were not properly consulted. Similarly, in this present case, when the SLPP in power, the APC is saying that, well, in the appointments of the various commissioners, they were not properly consulted. So then they don't always be a thing of controversy. Because of Dandy, now he make them now come up with this particular amendment. And waiting, then they propose inside the amendments now that instead of the president appointing the electoral commissioners directly like that, we go create room for, say, go only appoint people we elect or no elect. Let's have it another way. Let the president rather appoint a search committee. Yeah? So, and that in itself is the grounds of confusion, because people are saying that waiting at the difference with the president appointing the commissioners directly and the president appointing members of a search committee. People then they will believe, say, that particular committee, they go just made up of people who are going to do the president's bidding. And that's what people are saying. And people are suggesting that instead of you get that, why not you have just clear pointers of members of professional bodies and associations where go automatically constitute that search committee, meaning say they don't necessarily need any political appointment, thereby then go only be beholden to one thing when at the documents where now the constitution we give birth to their appointments. Now that's one issue of controversy. Do you think that should be the case with the search and nomination committee for commissioners? Bottom line, at the end of the day, it's still the case that this committee has to go search and then nominate, of course, people them weigh the criteria they inside the constitution, we go take role as commissioners inside the electoral commission. But still, the president would have to do the final appointment. Yeah? And another thing as well, where they inside this amendment bill, now the educational qualifications where the chief electoral commissioner suppose forget. Well, inside this particular new bill, they're saying that if you get a postgraduate degree from a recognized university, and that if you get professional qualifications and experience in governance and public management. Now, on this particular point, I think the views are quite divergent, because you get people who believe, say, okay, well, this is a good thing, because it's an important job, yeah? So he equally requires somebody with the requisite educational background and educational capacity for able for be strong on in faith and deliver the mandate where the Constitution provide. However, you get some other people who believe, say, that should not be the case, that the commissioners not just ceremonial role, and then it's not like they're the ones doing analysis or breaking down the data and all. No, that's not their role. Then just get supervisory role. You get experts them, where then they recruit through the recruitment process, we then get for all public service agencies, we get that role there for play. So you get people who believe, say, the educational requirements that is now added might not be something we absolutely makes sense for them. Now that's that, yeah, on that particular point there. Moving on from there, we come forward to the Political Parties Registration and Regulation Commission. Of course, this is not something we already did in existence. However, there is an amendment to the composition of the body of other members them we go be part of this particular commission here. Under this point as well, there are some level of skepticism about the neutrality when of those individuals, considering that the president would still have a hand in it, in determining who goes, what's there. That as well is a thing of question. Now, the chief issue amongst all other issues within inside this constitutional amendment bill, now the thing we get for do with the requirement for one to be elected as to be declared elected president of the republic. The 1991 constitution as it is now makes the provision within inside in that you forget 55% during the first round of ballot. However, if none of the candidates them not able to pull a total of 55%, then the constitution now make room for a runoff, a rerun of the elections. However, in this rerun, not just the two contenders them, the two front runners, yeah, the one we go don't get the highest and the other we get the second highest, they are the ones that are going to go for a runoff. So all other parties, they drop. Now, when those two parties then go for a runoff, the law as it is now that the person will get simple majority carries the day, would be declared as president-elect. Simpliciter. Nothing, no need forget 55%, none of that. Just forget a simple majority. However, this new amendment bill, they now state that instead of that number, where for a very long time, people then wait on the contest, whether now under SLPP or APC, not on the able for pool 55% just on the first ballot. And the few times them where candidates then are able for pool 55% on the first ballot, these are elections we don't always be very controversial, even presently. The 2012 elections still get boku questions them around them. The controversy did it. Similarly to the 2023 elections, when President Bio get above 55% on the first round. That tells you just how it has been. Dande na don't be the situation. So the spirit behind reducing that particular requirement to 50 plus 1, now because of Dande, that's what they're saying. That this would now save the country time and money. And considering that we all know how the country can be hypercharged during political seasons, people believe, say, well, this could just help for let we, get over and done with the whole process, and then everybody able to go back to their lives as quickly as possible. On this point, we get divided opinion, because you get sets of Sierra Leoneans who believe, say, oh no, don't touch that 55%. Leave it as it is. That the drafters of the 1991 Constitution know exactly why they put that clause there. That it is with an intent for create collaboration within political fields. Considering that when you're going to the second round, it's just 2 political parties. Then 2 political parties now would have to lobby all the smaller political parties for get them support, thereby making it that either of the 2 political parties will end up for win the presidency, or the political parties go also be part of the governance process. That's the idea, that's the spirit for encourage, decentralization and getting everybody on board. Now, on the other side, this 50 plus 1 means say, oh, just a single political party gets it, and then that's it. They form governments. They don't need for do any collaboration with any other political parties. And some people believe, say, Dande na something way bad for we democracy. But in terms of the requirements for one to be declared elected president of Sierra Leone, it not just stop to that 50 plus 1. There is another caveat added to that. The other clause now that, in addition to the 50 plus 1, where you're supposed to be elected as president, you are also to have at least 20% in 2/3 of the total number of districts them within Sierra Leone. Dande, the drafters of this amendment bill believe, say, something we go help for ensure that whichever political party within a power is not just a centralized unit, but one we get the tentacles spread across all the country. We're going, in turn, means say they will be able to take development now all corners of the republic, rather than just the center who sign are them popular and are they people and sabi them. The drafters of this bill here believe, say, this is a good thing. You get other people who believe, say, oh no, it's not as straightforward and it's not as simple as them put them. That saying 20% across 2/3 of the districts them now the country might be something we go create confusion and it just makes the whole process tedious and create room for political maneuvering, especially on the side of those ones who they in power at the particular time. Now, there's still so much more for talk about inside this constitutional amendment bill. But while we go further with the rest of the conversation, I'd now like for open the phone line and hear from you, viewers and listeners. So you can now call we on 079-994-993. 079-994-993. This is not a deep dive. And on tonight's show, we're talking about the constitutional amendment bill. We currently day before Parliament, and they're reviewing it. Let's have your take. What do you think about the bill? What would you like to see inside this new constitution? Hello, good evening. Hello. Yes, good evening. Your name and who you call from?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Fortune Bashayoso of Brazil.
Okay, please go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. Kudos to you, because you really don't take the time for explaining to some of you think that. But however, I don't know. I know it. I mean, I didn't different way to figure out this particular issue.
Okay.
You also say it will be more sensible for let them, take us to the community, therefore explain to them bit by bit to understand. Mind you, the people they do so, I'm saying that for we. So they're doing it to be specific. Then they try to take us to communities and, the language somebody will understand them, explain to them, maybe it will get something for say, or maybe it will get any other thing pertaining to them.
Okay.
We don't prefer that kind of education for happen, rather, they just take and say, in as much as we get parliamentarians then, they represent we, but not in all cases. Sometimes individual, they will just look at themselves and say, oh yeah, as far as this is okay for me, whether it's okay for the community or not, they don't care. So, as a lawyer, feel free to be sensible for letting take that constitutional review to, the communities and other people then, so they understand and learn more, rather than go put something way, not get for favor, just go for favor them, going forward. And the other thing that basically what is there for saying, I will not always be talker and I will continue for talker. We need for, sketching with institutions then. Always in the so if they're able to sketch with institutions, whether we get top president or not, we can able to go accordingly. But now it is seen that the president they appoint the AIG or the IG, even the ASLAF, they do appoint a whole lot of areas there. The president is powerful essentially that really, really difficult to let somebody do near them. So for me, for now they get that right, because what you mean, if somebody give you a job, now I appoint you. Trust me, even if you do one, you say you want to genuinely, I'm afraid you're not able. Because you don't take a look at, you also then 1 year they give, there are certain things that you don't get my talk, you don't get my including. But it's not like, a committee that steps, we don't put do some of their appointments, and after saying the way we do the work, with 3 hands. For us to stand, it's really difficult for let them do without that open hands, because their hands are tied. Let them try to embark or take the institutions then. So we will learn more and more.
Okay.
Let them not go back to the parliament. You can get the opportunity for now. At the end of the day, tomorrow, it is all through the citizens. Just like them, sometimes they only do something for protect themselves. When they need that power. They can sometimes people realize they have to come on at that position. You do something better, benefit it today or benefit other person. You take up for candy. But anyway, I really appreciate the program. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, thank you very much for calling. And yeah, like you rightly say, on the question of whether I don't think say they should take this at the community level and explain them, in the language where people understand. I agree with you on that point. I think they should. Actually, the Office of Attorney General and Minister of Justice, they state that it's a process way then they do, and it's ongoing, and then we don't start even before now. That in fact, before even they're able to get this amendment bill, the content, everything we do inside it, now a reflection of the nationwide consultation we then do. Now, all corners and all parts of this country. Now, that's what the Office of Attorney General and Minister of Justice, they say. As to whether that's the reality on the ground or not, I think it's not for me to say, because I'm not in every other community in the country. Good evening. Hello.
Yeah, good evening. This is Bakar from Fund.
Yes, Bakar, please go ahead.
Let God continue for helping in this country.
Amen.
You understand? God gets reason why them born in this country. God gets so many reasons. And God gets reason why he makes Salone be the richest country in terms of mineral. And God gets reason why we get this kind of situation. And my brother, now he make way we go school. Everybody will go school. Whether you stop class C, you stop this, as long as you go school. We all get oath where we take. This oath here, and God will use for judgery next world. Waiting at the oath. We pledge with love and loyalty to the country alone. And we vow to serve this country with faithful and everything. And we promise to defend this country. Honor and good name. And all. This are the oath. This way we get to the country. So it means we not get oath to president. We not get oath to lawyer, we don't get oath to political party. We get oath to the country because Salone are the richest country in the whole world in terms of mineral. Come to the constitutional review, my brother. If you check what thing they happen, even for now, I want to make una think this logically. You observe say politics shape and play inside this constitutional review. Because it happened say 1991 constitution. And at that time, that the APC, na them be in power, where them be try for build this 1991 constitution. When you come to 2002 amendment of the constitution, wherein that they then carry with PR, where they carry with the clause where they put the PR. And at that time, na SLPP. So when you watch all waiting SLPP then they do, now waiting day to the new time, where they put as clause, where na that PR, now they then they try for emphasize on. All waiting be happen inside 1991 constitution. Then they take a like say, na same the land in the constitution be they bad. But if you check at that time, my brother, not to lie, for them, they give the president all different rights and different things. They appoint the chief electoral commission. They appoint all different people. For them to become president, for them to be president for the country. You know, somebody may forget sorry heart for the country. You know, person will be lay down for the people. But how they use this thing, they misuse everything about 1991 constitution and the power of the president. I will check again, what did they can do now? Then they try for them, they continue to add more power to the president and everything. Then people here then do something 2023. When they tell you about no runoff. And if we back deep and they build this constitution and they make a like no runoff, they don't know what they can play. It's a big problem this to win at this country. But when you make they blame the opposition, Hello?
Yes, I get you. Please go ahead, sir.
I blame the opposition because they fail waiting for do. And they forget the young things they waiting for do. Opposition for stand from the people and from onset. From onset, opposition for stand. But waiting we hear the opposition and they go for pots and they go pass right down. Now then are the people where they go and announce 2028 instead of they fight for the reality. Waiting at the reality. The things that will happen at the ground. And are you for able to protect your legacy where we don't do, whatever we don't do? Let people not tamper the constitution and let me get people where they do the right thing. We ever see the opposition stand for that? We just they see no more, then people are in then they play with like child's play. We go to parliament, always everything they talk to them, they just bring her for let them talk and I hear you. But that's when they pass, that's when they endorse. With the ordinary citizens, they punish with the suffer. They brought they come back.
Okay, thank you very much. 079-994-993. Call we and add your voice to the conversation. Tonight on the deep dive, we're talking about the amendments to the 1991 Constitution. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Your name and who side you call from?
Manuel Moise.
Yes, sir. Please, dear, help me for speak a bit louder, yeah?
Moise.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is simple, right? Salone, for that constitution strong until the separation of power, so the whole institution will be independent. The three organs of government will be independent with the means of separation of power. And for that constitution strong, right? That will be inclusive. You forget 6 lawyers from the APC side, 6 lawyers from SLPP side, and 6 lawyers independent cut across various NGOs or CDOs, right? Like the flag, like the non-governmental organization, right? You forget the legal lawyers there, right? But the government can just be Attorney General. The other, only appointee. This is one for the 3D, and they happen to right now. Okay. The judiciary, therefore, appoint the young chief justice on the own. They get the legal commission, and then for appoint the young chief justice. Just like how the parliament appoints people of parliament. The president appoints the ministers and cabinet 2000. But this one happened at Salone, so they go still on this constitution and ready to press again.
Okay. Okay, we lost that caller there, but call we back. I think you are making quite an important point. 079-994-993. Now the number where you go call and add your voice to the conversation. 8:51 at the time from we studio clock. And tonight on the deep dive, we're looking at the constitutional amendment bill and the things them way they inside, waiting at people in thoughts, views, and opinion. I agree with you. When it comes to the constitution, it's the most important document of the land. And it can either be for good or for bad. If a country get a constitution, we get boku bad clause them inside, or clauses we just they favor a set, it's not good for the whole country because it could often lead to chaos. Because when all is said and done, amongst or amidst with differences in political opinion, in other views than we hold, one thing where they help for maintain sanity, even when we attempt for fight, now the law. And the supreme law of the land, now the constitution. That just tells you how significant it is. 079-994-993. Call we and add your voice to the conversation. What do you think for the inside day? Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Your name and who side you call from? Okay, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, just a cabinet too. Indian government, we get legislative, we get executive, and we get judiciary, right? And in government, everything is called separation of power. The legislative, and then they make law. They go up, count down, and then they make law. Okay? Now, that makes the Speaker of Parliament, which are representing the way they are elected members. Okay? The executive, when they elect the president for instead of appoint an MDA, Ministry, Department, and Education. Okay? The judiciary, by right, the president of the no right to appoint the Attorney General, the justice, the Inspector General of Police, the Minister of Defense, the Chief Defense, the Chief Defense Staff. No. Those angles security, they are under the judiciary. By right, they can be controlled by the Chief Justice. If this happens in the country, we will get proper goodness in the country. But anything, not now, right now, we can talk about PRD, that, it don't make sense. Right now, for the talk about sex. How comes with separation of powers? Everybody is independent. If they see the president is run the country of hand. Because of this fact, Canada appoints as Chief Justice. The main man get issue with me, right? You are the president, but you go in the police. You will ever cut that case. No. Because when you come at the factory, I appoint another one. So everybody is president and not put an office.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. 079-994-993. Call we and add your voice to the conversation. Of course, this is going to be a very long conversation because not a one green day. And just like the sentiments we most of the callers them tonight don't share, I also hold a similar view. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening. Bakari again.
Yes, Bakari.
My brother, I'll tell you now, the reason why you see at the end of the 2023 election, we go into tripartite. Now, these two different sets of constitution we then go into. Where we get 1991 and 2002. Now, these are the big problem. Okay, now, we got to always tell people about the tripartite. The tripartite are the only document this way, if the opposition stand by the tripartite, they don't stand with no other thing. They stand by the tripartite. My brother, we they get collapse alone.
Okay.
Politicians and they get respect for the ordinary masses. Then they will not say we the ordinary citizen are we not the boss. Politicians go rule, then go gain a power, they do all kinds of things. Then they not say, oh, let people learn and then get me job. Take this why they say so. But once some people here, then they're going to make it their own way. Don't look like their position. Look the kind of how they miss a responsibility. When they go discuss some kind of bill na parliament. Una forget say the bill where una going to where must sign an agreement between international partners then. In line for look una able to see say the rights of the people restore. Salon never forget peace. Salon no get that kind of war again alive. Una left there una go discuss other things then. For look una bring engaged to we. Una bring other things to we for lose we up. These are the issue. This 84 recommendation are the only thing this way they will help me and you too.
Okay.
Now the thing this way they help for most of the institutions they are being independent. But wait till the party different. Hello?
Yes, I get you. Please go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. But wait till the party today are different too they see.
Okay.
So they see the people that they fine tune and they make all that things but I believe say we pledge this oath where we take. I swear to God, it tell us every single somebody. This oath here, that the judgment this way for happen this one and next one. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you too for calling. 079-994-993-857 at the time from the studio clock. Tonight on the deep dive, we're looking at the constitutional amendment bill and the things them where they inside those things that are the things that win are facts, the one them win are fiction, and the one them where don't be a source of controversy over the course of the week. Okay, welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program where you listen to another deep dive, where they come to you live here on Epic Radio 99.3 FM. And tonight on the show, we're talking about the amendment of the 1991 Constitution. Just before the break, we will look at some of the things them way they inside this document. Another thing that I want we look at just before we draw the curtain down. Now, inside this amendment, there is now a proposed fixed date for on which presidential elections then will be held. For a very long time, this don't serve as an issue of tension, especially where we get closer to elections. Because originally, inside the 1991 Constitution, it is on the president for call, for an elections and announce the date at the expiration of a 5-year term, for which, and again, this is not APC or SLPP, because during the APC time, the SLPP are accused that, they don't shift the elections for, an unreasonable time just for letting dinner power. Similarly, for the SLPP, the same thing was asserted. So inside this bill, there is now a proposition that presidential elections shall be held on the second Saturday in November in every 5th year. If this is passed, it means now say there is now a fixed date, so it's not up to politicians for determine when election they hold. And the reason for this, now the fact that if you left them entirely in the hands of politicians, they would always decide what is favorable to them, whether it's favorable to the greater population or not. Now something we're not can consider much. However, plenty people don't raise question with this proposed date here, so on which we are supposed for the held election. And some of the points now the fact that, well, the last election was held in June, which means say by June 2028, President Bio in tenure as president of the Republic of Sierra Leone go done because he go don clock in 5 year na power. So you get some people who hold the view that why are you sending it to November? If you had wanted to do anything good, why bring a Cambian a little? And the source of this concern are that some people, they say, well, November might not be such a good year for do elections, considering that we would just be coming from the rains, and some side half rain good is still calm, and some hard to reach communities where it be say whenever there is raining season, you can get water where they block access for even go day. People believe say then water then they no go don't dry it and all. So there are just a lot of impediments towards holding elections in November as opposed to maybe in May or March, where those are the peak of the dry season and you go able to get access to hard to reach communities and all other things. But that's just an argument. And however, I must state that in my own opinion, I really feel like having a fixed date for elections go save we a lot, especially from all of the tensions waking the day when it comes, whenever we clock the 5 year time, where plenty people, opposition go begin pull press release here and there. So if you now get a fixed date, we all already understand, and that's it, and that's fine. Whether November is the best time for that or not, I think that can be debated. But the thought of having a fixed date in itself, now one good thing. Now away from that, there are several other clauses inside this amendment bill where across the aisle, whether now government or opposition, they agree on, because these are good things, now things them where they benefit the country. Just one or two other points them we controversial. The engagement don't start yesterday. For example, where they listen, waiting they go on now na parliament na pre-legislative process, where then they go through, and it is open to the public, and members of the public can able go view. Of course, not to every other person go able go, because it is held in one of the rooms na parliament, and I shall say we all know go fit there. But it is open, and you could follow the process as well online, because that's another good thing, that on the very first day, everything was live. You no need forget TV na use for able follow the process, because it is on live on Facebook and several other channels them where you can follow, so you are also informed. The amendment bill in itself is in the public domain. If you're not able to download them directly from Google, you can ask a friend or ask somebody who get access to them and send them to you. So you also look at them. Because at the end of the day, like waiting one of the callers then say, this document, whether you agree or you disagree, it get for touch and concern all of we lives them for a long time to come. Because it's not every other day where then they review constitution. So this should be something of interest to all of we as Sierra Leoneans. And yes, again, I agree with the other caller. We mentioned that. Let us look at this from only one point of view. That is, waiting day in the best interest of Sierra Leone, regardless of which political party you belong to or which political party you they support. Because at the end of the day, if you just look at this document and suggest things then where you feel say, okay, because you didn't have power now, they're convenient for you, don't forget, political power now one of the most fleeting things them. It is here today, tomorrow it is over there. Tomorrow it's over there. So remember, think about that when the table eventually turn, you go need a constitution that is independent, way good enough that you're able to come under for get protection. But if we, at the end of the day, pass a document where just they reflect way fine for one political side, then there is a problem. And that's this message, and especially for the parliamentarians, because they have an opportunity now to look at this, look at it critically. Today you might be on the government side of the bench. Tomorrow you go to sit down at the opposition side of the bench. And all of these points, we will come back to them and be like, okay, if it don't make sense that we did it, we do this thing right. History don't teach with this. before having the one-party system in Sierra Leone, that was not a process we start just after Sheikh Stevens was elected as president. Then in a process we don't start from the time where Albert Magai be there as prime minister. But then the whole thing can materialize and be perfected during APC term. So just imagine those ones will be see those handwritings on the wall clearly and be choose for remain silent because they feel like say, oh, it benefited them. Imagine what they had to go through now when for 20-something years it was a one-party system here. And the party will start the process, not to the party will eventually enjoy the fruits out of them. As a matter of fact, now the one them will suffer as a result of same. So we would be following the whole process right on to its final stage. We encourage every other Sierra Leonean to do same. So it is on this point that we draw the cutting down of tonight's show. Plenty thank you to my producer, James Kamaramene. We don't put all of the research and materials together and sure see this program come to una today. Plenty thank you to the technical team, Sori, and of course the man behind the mixing chamber, Papa Buju. Until next week, Wednesday, at exactly 8 p.m., where another edition of The Deep Dive will come to you. Me we don't be your host like always, Najim's Fortune. But don't forget, say, there are two sides to every story. And understanding, na a three-edged sword. There is your side, there is my side, but there is the truth. We always there, right in the middle. Keep it epic. Have a blessed evening.